Thanks. I'm so glad to have the chance to talk about one of the most important parts of keeping your chapter strong, which is recruiting new members. As a former NTHS advisor myself, I know firsthand how meaningful and sometimes stressful this process can be. But you're not just inviting students to join an honor society. You're opening a door to recognition, confidence, and opportunity. You're helping them see that their hard work, skill, and professionalism are worth celebrating. Our goal in recruitment isn't just to fill a roster, it's to invite students into something that can truly change their future. So before we get started, I want to share just a few quick details about today's session. This webinar will last about 30 minutes. The first 15 minutes will be instructional, where I'll walk through strategies, best practices, and examples of how to successfully recruit and engage members in your chapter. And then we'll talk about service opportunities, and we'll be highlighting a new partnership that we have just established. The final 15 minutes will be reserved for Q&A, giving you a chance to ask questions or share your own recruitment ideas and chapter successes. So let's start with the why. So when I first started my chapter, I didn't want it to be just in name or just another program that looked good on paper. I wanted it to mean something. I hope that's what you're all wanting too. So I've highlighted some activities from my chapter in the pictures here. But when I started simple. One induction, one project, a few meetings, and we grew it from there. And I say this to let you know that NTHS can be meaningful, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So when students become members of NTHS, they're stepping into a community that believes in their potential, not just for grades, but for the kind of leadership, work ethic, and professionalism that builds careers. Membership connects them to scholarship opportunities, national recognition, and lifelong connections. But even more importantly, it builds confidence. It tells students that what they're doing in their career program matters. So how do we find these students? The national requirements are simple: enrollment in any CTE program and a minimum 3.0 unweighted GPA. The GPA requirement can either be overall or specifically in their career classes. So advisors may add additional local requirements if they choose, but it's important to keep the spirit of how NTHS began in mind. NTHS was founded to open doors for students who work hard, take pride in their skills, and show excellence in their technical fields. So we encourage advisors to help create an environment where local requirements don't become so restrictive that they prevent deserving students from being recognized. Also note there's no national requirement regarding grade level. So if chapters choose to induct students as early as their first year at your school, this will allow members to take advantage of benefits for a longer period of time and increase their opportunities to apply for scholarships. So we hold scholarships for up to 3 years. Okay, so there are so many creative ways to attract and invite students to join. First, engagement starts with awareness. Ask your counselors or registrar for a list of students who meet the GPA requirement. Then cross-check it with students enrolled in your career programs. Send the NTHS nominee letter to qualifying students to notify them of their eligibility. Another idea, talk with your instructors. Ask them, who are your standout students? Or who shows leadership in the lab or shop, even if they're quiet in class? Those are often the students who truly embody NTHS values. Or you could host a short 10 to 15 minute interest meeting and share the NTHS 60-second video along with a promotional PowerPoint. Now, the nominee letter and the PowerPoint are both available in the advisor portal. So we already have these resources available, so please don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. So some other ideas: you can hang posters around your hallways or showcase photos from last year's induction ceremony. Promote your induction ceremony on social media or in the local newspaper and share the announcement school-wide so everyone knows about it. Maybe even create your own chapter Instagram page to showcase what your members are doing. Students love to see themselves on social media. Plus, it's a great way to make announcements while also encouraging new students to get involved. However, make sure that your school does have parental permission to share student photos before you post them. You can also align your member outreach with school events. For example, host a table during lunches, highlight NTHS during CTE month, open house nights, or pop up a table at homecoming or other sporting events. When families and community members hear about your chapter, student interest grows naturally. Let your members do the talking. Have them share what being a part of NTHS has meant to them, whether it's earning scholarships, gaining leadership experience, or simply feeling proud of what they've accomplished. And if you don't have an official NTHS banner yet, no worries. Let your members create a display board and fill it with photos and highlights from the activities your chapter has participated in. You can even use the same board from year to year and just change out the pictures. So remember, membership isn't just about numbers, it's about impact. Each student you invite becomes part of the legacy of your program. So when you're talking with potential members, focus on what NTHS represents: career development, leadership, service, and recognition. Help them see that being a part of this organization connects them to something bigger, a nationwide network of career-ready leaders. And once they join, make sure they stay engaged. Give them meaningful roles in your chapter's projects, service events, and celebrations. That's what keeps them connected and inspires the next group to follow. And here's something I've learned over the years. The best chapters aren't run by the advisor. They're run by the students. Each year, I let my officers and members decide what activities they wanted to take on. I'd give them a few ideas, but then I'd step back and I let them take the lead. So when students have ownership and they buy in. And when they buy in, that's when NTHS really comes alive. Because at its core, the organization isn't just about recognition, it's about empowerment. The induction ceremony may last just one night, but the leadership skills they gain will carry them for a lifetime. So as you begin seeking out potential members, reflect on the students who truly deserve to be recognized. Reach out to them, encourage them to join. And as your chapter continues to grow, don't forget to share your success with us through the Chapter Highlights Forum and in our Facebook Advisors group. Your stories are what inspire other chapters to take action too. Together, we can continue recognizing excellence, one member, one chapter, and one story at a time. So now let's move over to some service opportunities. So when students serve, they begin to see their skills in action. You can see some examples here. They realize that what they're learning in their CTE programs can actually make a difference in their communities. And that shift from learning for myself to using what I've learned to help others is powerful. It turns technical knowledge into purpose. So service projects don't have to be big or complicated to be meaningful. It might be something as simple as collecting donations for a local shelter, reading career books to second graders, volunteering to help feed others at a community event, helping younger students learn a trade skill, or partnering with another student organization for a campus cleanup. What matters most is that students take ownership and lead. When we connect service to welcoming new members and strengthening our chapter, we show students that NTHS isn't just about recognition. It's also about responsibility. We're helping them grow into leaders who value teamwork, empathy, and professionalism. And here's the best part. Service activities naturally promote your chapter too. When your members are visible in the community, wearing their NTHS shirts or representing your school, other students see that and they want to be a part of it. It builds pride, credibility, and interest all at once. So I'm sure many of you have participated in lots of different service projects before, but today we're excited to highlight a new national partnership that we've launched with an organization called Funds2Orgs. This initiative offers chapters a fresh way to serve their communities while supporting their own programs. So now I'm going to play a short video that will tell you all about them.
What if I told you that by collecting used shoes, it could raise money for your cause, help the planet, and families of micro-entrepreneurs all over the world, all without asking your supporters to open their wallets? We all know how awkward traditional fundraising can be, asking people to buy stuff that they don't want or need. A shoe drive is way more simple than that. Hi, I'm Christy with Funds2Orgs, and we are the nation's largest shoe drive fundraising company. We have helped over 25,000 organizations and individuals raise money for their causes just by collecting used shoes from their community. Not only do shoe drives help fund your cause, it also helps support communities all over the world. We're all about helping create opportunities locally that impact people globally. A shoe drive fundraiser is exactly what it sounds like. You collect gently worn used and new shoes from your supporters instead of selling something, and you get paid based on the total weight of the shoes. That means your organization could raise $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, or more. Sounds cool, right? And the best part? Funds2Orgs does all the work for you. We provide the collection materials, the marketing templates, we pick up the shoes, and then you get paid with a check. So how does it work? Let's break it down into 4 simple steps. 1, sign up. 2, promote your shoe drive. 3, get your shoes picked up. And 4, get paid. Let's start at the first step, signing up and planning your shoe drive. Once you've signed up, you will be matched with a dedicated fundraising coach who will guide you every step of the way. Now, once you've had your planning call, you will be shipped your very own starter kit. Inside the kit, you're going to find all sorts of materials, such as collection materials like rubber bands and bags, as well as a welcome guide, goals, strategy ideas, and you'll be given a link to our partner marketing library so you can build your own marketing templates, flyers, and social media posts. Next, let's promote your fundraiser. You want to start with your sphere of influence. Starting with friends and family is where you're going to get the most shoes immediately. Then move on to your place of business, your work, your gym, maybe even the church you go to. Think of all the ways that you have community around you and start asking them for shoes. Now, turn to your marketing plan. Let's focus on social media. Get the word out by emailing friends and family, by posting on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok even, and then finally, have fun with it. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun with your shoe drive. As you collect the shoes, you're gonna wanna bag 25 pairs together. Make sure to tie the laces together or use the rubber bands provided in your starter kit. Store the bags in a dry, pest-free 10 by 10 space, such as a garage, a spare bedroom, classroom, or basement. And just make sure it's accessible for our 26-foot box truck. Next, it's time for your pickup. Once you've reached your bag count goal, it's time to get your shoes picked up. Our logistics team will connect with you to determine a time and date to pick up your shoes. When the driver arrives, make sure to have at least 2 to 3 volunteers per every 50 bags. And now for the best part, it's time to get paid and celebrate your success. The shoes get picked up and processed by our team, a check will be made out to you based on the total weight of your collection. Don't forget, the more shoes you collect, the more funds you're gonna earn. And don't forget to thank your supporters for all their help. So let's recap on what a shoe drive is. 1, it's super easy to do. 2, there's no selling involved. 3, real impact on people and the planet. So if this sounds like something your organization would like to do and add to your fundraising calendar, head over to funds2orgs.com and sign up to get started. Everything you need is right there for you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop any of your questions.
So doesn't that sound like an amazing project? So we're promoting a nationwide fundraiser with them running from now through December 19th. This project is not mandatory, but it is an incredible opportunity to make a meaningful impact in multiple ways. And if you can't participate right now, that's okay. You can sign up to hold your own drive anytime during the school year. This initiative gives chapters a simple, meaningful way to raise money. Every pair of shoes will be redistributed through a global reuse network, helping micro entrepreneurs in developing countries and keeping shoes out of landfills. Okay, so just to recap how it works. So first, sign up through our landing page, which is listed here. You have to have that NTHS on the end. Funds2Org will then assign you a fundraising coach. You collect gently worn, used, or new shoes, any style or size. As long as they're clean and still wearable, they're good. Secure each pair with laces or rubber bands and store them in a 10 by 10 space. The bag shoes in the provided bags, which is about 25 per pair. Schedule your collection date with the Funds2Org coach, and then have some NTHS members available to help load the truck when it arrives on that day. So after the shoes arrive at their headquarters, the participating chapters are paid based on weight, starting at 40 cents per pound, with higher payouts for the more shoes you collect. So for example, a chapter that gathers 2,500 pounds of shoes will raise $1,000, and the national office will also receive a portion of all the proceeds. So Funds2Org will support chapters every step of the way, providing marketing materials, a landing page, digital ads, and that personal fundraising coach. So NTHS, the headquarters, is also hosting a friendly chapter competition. So we will be awarding the top fundraising chapter a gift card for a pizza party for your chapter. So this is not only a fundraising opportunity, it's a chance to build school spirit, strengthen community involvement, and live out our NTHS values of leadership and service. So we hope you'll consider participating in this initiative. Okay, so now we'd like to take your questions. You're welcome to ask about membership recruitment or service opportunities. But to keep things running smoothly and to be conscious of our time, I would ask that you drop your questions in the chat and then I'll read them aloud and one of our members will respond. If you'd like to briefly respond to a question, if you have a good answer, then please raise your hand and we'll call on you. Okay, so this is a great fundraising opportunity. So what questions does anyone have? And if you'd like to raise your hand, just please feel free. I was going to ask too, how many advisors are either college or high school? Can you walk through registering a student? Yes, I sure can. So you register the students in the portal. If you have any, everyone should be able to log into the portal, but if you have any trouble, you can always and Renee can always jump in and help me with this too, but you can always do, like, if you forgot your password because, hey, it's been since last school year since you've logged in, you can do a reset. And then you just go to the first tab is register members. And you click there and you can either register members yourself as the advisor, or you can just put their name and their email in and send the information to them to register. And I just saw a hand up. Was that Tamika? Was that your hand up?
I'm going to jump in here and just make sure when you log in, you should see that landing page. It will say Welcome NTHS Advisor. That is like the landing page with your icons there. And if you don't see that, make sure to hit portal at the very top of that page.
And also, when you're registering students, if you click on and you say you want to register, we actually have a spreadsheet that you can download, and then you can put each student's member in the spreadsheet information in the spreadsheet, and then just upload that spreadsheet. And it's been super easy. That's how I have done that in the past. So if the institution is paying for the student's fee, is it different from the students paying for the fee? So, no, we just have a one-time $30 per student membership fee. And then there is a $10 processing fee on memberships. So
Ms.
it's
Marissa, I'm sorry.
Go
Ms.
ahead.
Marissa, are you talking about as far as registration or how the payments are made?
Yes, how the payments are made. So like, let's say if, like for instance, if we're getting a grant to help us pay for the students' membership fee for this. So I know we can add the students or we can upload the file for the students, but and it's $30 per student, right? So how is it to where we can pay all of it at one time? Or yeah, I guess that's my question. Like, how does it work if we're uploading all the students' information and we're paying for it?
That's a good question. So when you upload those students, they're going to sit in what we call a pending registration area, which is under the register members tile. And they're going to sit there until you're ready to submit them. If you go out or anything, those names are going to remain there. And then when you're ready to make a payment, you're going to hit that submit button at the very top, and it's going to show all your students that have completed their registration. And like Audra said, there's two options there when you do that upload. The advisor can register the students, which is the advisor putting their information in. There's 4 or 5 required fields on both options.
Okay.
And if you send the registration form, which is the invite, they automatically get a link if you decide for the students to complete their registration. So either way, you're going to see an action field there that will show complete and incomplete. And then that submission button at the very top will show you the number of students that have completed their registration. And from there, you can go to the checkout screen. And on that checkout screen, we have several payment options. We have credit card, PO number, which is the purchase order number. If your school requires a purchase order, make sure you talk to your financial department and just get that number. Those items are going to remain in your cart once you submit from the registration tile. They will all remain in your cart. You can shop for regalia there. Everything can go into your cart. And then when you're ready, if you get a PO number from your school, you can put that PO in there. Now, if your school doesn't require you to have a purchase order number, then you can put invoice needed there, and we will get those packages out, your material out, and send the invoice. Either way, we're going to send an invoice immediately.
Okay. I guess that's my question. I think we're planning on trying to roll something out by November 20th. I know this is our first time that we're doing it on our campus. I think it's been like since the year 2000 that HCC has done anything. So I'm trying to figure out, I know the pictures really do help, which I really love because I love having pictures, but I just kind of wanted to have like an actual conversation about it. Cause I know I think I might have met with you a while back, but it's been a long time since.
Yes. And we love that you're here. And we're going to continue to have these webinars. Audra is going to do these, and there's going to be different topics that she's going to go over. So you'll learn a lot. So I would say come anytime. Jump in
Great. Okay.
Anytime. Audra?
Thank you. And thank you, Renee, for that help. And while she was telling you all that, I was pulling up the sample and I actually pulled up my old school because that's my easiest number to remember. So I'm going to go back here. So that first screen, the welcome page, you would just click register members here. And then you can do add students. And this is going to help with Debbie's question about, do you have a template for the registration to download? So if you click on that, you can actually go ahead and download. So either advisor register students or advisor invite students to register. I'm going to click on the one advisor register students. And when you do that, now if you only have a few, if you're only doing like 10 or less, you might want to do them one at a time. But if you're wanting to do multiple, you can click multiple here and you can actually download the file right here. And you can go ahead and save it so that you can be working on it. So that would be the where you could find the template. Okay. And I'm going to, so Caitlin asked, easiest ways to figure out what students are eligible for inductions. And Christina put in, she used to talk with her registrar. That was actually what I was going to suggest too, is that was my easiest way when I was an advisor, was just to go to my registrar, or in high school, my counselor's office, and I got a list of who qualified by GPA. And then I just compared that list to who was also in my career classes. And if they had the GPA and they were in any career classes, then therefore they qualified. I sent them out because it was kind of hard to make copies of an email, of a letter and get it to everybody, because how do you do that? And that's going to cost stamps or mails. I actually did used to get my students, I was in a high school, to deliver them for me. But then I just decided, I got their email address and I emailed it out. And that also gave me, hey, they've received it because they got the email. And that was how I notified them. And I would give them a time. And actually, going back to the option of the advisor letting the students register themselves, all you would need for that information is the student's name. Make sure they qualify, but the student's name and their email address. And you can just upload that. And then NTHS would send them the email to, if they want to do it. If they don't do it, that's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. But that kind of saves you a step. Okay, so let's see what questions we have here. Does everybody know the national requirements? I'm going to click back on here to get back to those. Okay, so those are the national requirements. Has the advisor requirement changed from the CTE council? We have no advisor requirement. The advisor for us can be any faculty member. Actually, I worked in CTE when I was at my school, but then I went back and I was a school counselor and I kept my chapter. So there's no There's no requirement through us. Now, your county might have, or your district might have some requirement, but we don't have that requirement. What is CRP? CRP is Career Readiness Portal. So it is a major clarity product and it's very helpful. We use that in my county, and we're actually probably going to be focusing or highlighting them in one of our future webinars. So, okay. Let's see. I don't want to miss any questions. What goes under CRP if we are
uploading? You will put a 1 in that field. So instead of a 0 on the upload file, you will put a 1.
That's if you want it or if you don't want it, Renee?
If you want it. If
If
you
you
don't
want it,
want
put
it,
a 1. If you don't want it, put a 0.
correct.
Okay. Okay, so once you send students to fill out, can the advisor go back and fill it out for them if needed? So Renee, that's a good question. You might can help with us.
Yes, so those links are automatically generated for the students, the registration form. So if you see, some of the schools want the students to be responsible for it. They set those deadline dates for those, for that option for the students to receive the links. Some are lenient, some aren't, and that's perfectly fine. We let the school level decide what they want to do. But yes, you can. There's an action field there with a pencil icon. There's 5 required fields. Only the asterisk fields are required. You can also delete a student if they haven't paid within that pending area. If they haven't paid or they haven't completed the registration form, you can also delete. There's a trash icon there.
Okay, so this will probably be our last question in reference for time. So Caitlin has asked, how soon before induction ceremonies do you start figuring out student eligibility? I would always give myself about 4 to 6 weeks to figure out eligibility and to get that information. Like I would give myself about 4 weeks to figure it out and notify the students, and then I would give myself a couple more weeks. Like I would give them a time frame, and I always looked at what time because we had our students paid themselves. So I looked at most parents are getting paid the 15th or the 1st of the month. So I would give them as that's my deadline, around that. If you're depending on what part of the nation you're in, we just need you to like upload and register. I'd say 2 weeks on average before your induction ceremony so that we could get your information, your certificates and membership materials out on time. And let's see. Do you have a list of all the CT areas? Yes, we do have a list of the areas of study. And that is actually in the advisor portal. So actually, my timer just went off. Thank you so much for all of the questions. This has been great. I want to stay conscious of everyone's time. And I again want to thank everyone so much. Let me get to my last slide. I want to thank everyone so much. Renee or Christina, if you could drop that feedback form in the chat, that would be great. So we will be having webinars monthly covering different topics throughout the year. So we hope you'll join us again. And if you didn't get to ask your question or you think of anything later, please feel free to email me anytime. Also, before you log off, we're going to drop a link in the chat. So if you would take just a minute to complete that form, we would truly appreciate your feedback on this webinar. And thank you again for joining us, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And like I said, if you think of anything later, shoot me an email. We will be glad to help you any and all the time. Thank you so much.